shakalaka!
Get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown! And the Cavaliers by three.
And welcome to the jam. Come on and slam.
Yo-ho! Welcome back, everybody, to the Ultimate Warriors podcast. I am Ben Christopher, as always, joined by my little brother, Mr. Teddy Ballgame. Ted, how you doing? What's new, buddy?
Doing well. Nothing's new other than my back's killing me today for some reason. It's making me feel old.
Was it from carrying the pickup teams on Thursday in basketball?
No, it wasn't. I didn't even go this week, so I have no excuse.
Well, hey, guys, thanks again for tuning in. We are the Ultimate Warriors. We talk Cleveland Cavs. We talk NBA. But before we get into that, NBA, there's a lot of big threes. There have been throughout history. And our third Ultimate Warrior is DJ Andrew Smith. So I always like to let him tell everybody what to expect from our show because he does it way better than Ted or I ever could. So, Andy, why don't you go ahead and take this away? Let everyone know what they can expect.
DJ Andrew Smith.
Big greeting, like welcome to Mo's Ultimate Warriors. You already know we're jumping right in, and we ain't even looking. Chef Ben in the kitchen, man. What is he cooking now? Ben's taking over. He ain't even asking, so sit back, relax, and grab some brews and get him cracking. The Podfather and the Cycle Bar star. He told Elon Musk to invent a new car. Now Teddy, what can we say? He got 15 girls headed his way. He gets them wound up, and yeah, he keeps them flustered. Ted won 1 million tickets at Dave & Buster's. It's DJ Andrew Smith, man. Someone call the cops. And you can call me Pringles, cause I'm about to pop. Ultimate Warriors, we will never stop, like Lil Wayne said. Baby, let it rock.
DJ Andrew Smith.
So good. He's too funny.
And it just cracks me up. I look forward to it every week. So that's what you can expect from the show. We've got something a little bit different today, something a little bit fun, because if you've been following the Cleveland Cavaliers like we have, they've sucked. We are on a 10-game losing streak. This has been an absolutely brutal part of our schedule. We started the season off so hot. My hopes were high. We looked good, but we've really fallen here. So we're not going to talk that much Cavs today. Ted, before I kind of let everyone know what we're going to do, anything you want to say about the past week, the past 10 games? Like, this has been bad.
Yeah, it's been brutal. The only game we were even within single digits was when we played the Phoenix Suns back on February 8th, when they didn't even have Chris Paul, and we still lost.
I was hoping we could steal that one.
Yeah, me too. It's been brutal. The least amount of points we've given up over this span is 117, and that was the last game where we just lost to the Thunder on Sunday. So it's been brutal. You know, I have 3 positives, though, that we can take away.
Wow.
One,
okay.
It could be worse because the Spurs game got postponed, so we could be in an 11-game losing streak right now.
Good point.
And then 2, we have Atlanta and Houston coming up, which are both very winnable games. So we might be able to get a win here before the All-Star break. We got Houston twice and Atlanta. And then 3rd, at least this upcoming draft class is supposed to be really good. So
that's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, so at least if we get a lot of ping pong balls, we might be able to get a cornerstone player here.
Yeah, and the way that they redid the draft lottery, you don't have to be the worst team in the NBA, to win that pick. So, I mean, right now we're the 4th worst team in the NBA. Detroit's below us, the Rockets, and the Timberwolves. And actually, no, never. I take that back. The Rockets are ahead of us, so we're the 3rd. Holy crap! So, anyways, we don't want to talk about the depressing Cavs right now. We talk about them a lot. If you want to hear Cavs, tune back in next week. We'll pick it back up. but we're going to do something a little bit more fun, something a little upbeat, something that we enjoy. And if you're watching on the video, you can see it in the background. It says NBA Jam arcade machine. We're just going to go through the league and pick our favorite NBA Jam duos. We did this, I think it was our first ever episode. It was called Boom Shakalaka Playoffs. And we picked our favorite NBA Jam teams for the upcoming playoffs. And it was a lot of fun. So I figured, why not just go through all the teams and see who would be on that game right behind me that has, been my favorite game for years. So we'll just kind of run down from the best standings, and we'll start in the East, and then we'll go to the West. So right now in the East, the Philadelphia 76ers are the top seed. So Ted, 76ers, if you were playing NBA Jam, what's your who are your two? What's your lineup?
Yeah, and so I'm assuming the gameplay is like an NBA Jam.
Yep.
It's not
exactly. Nope, just playing the game, playing the jam.
All right. So this one I'm going with Joel Embiid, obviously.
Yeah.
He's averaging 30 points this year, 11 rebounds. He's been an MVP candidate. So you got to go with him. He'll be able to protect the rim for you a little bit in NBA Jam. Getting those blocks is so key. So I'm going with him. And then I'm also going to go with Ben Simmons. I was thinking about maybe Tobias Harris, but Joel Embiid shoots 40% from three. So if you do need a three, you could give it to him. Simmons can't help you there, but he can help you in everything else and get you some steals, blocks, dunks. So I'm going Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I think that one is that's a pretty obvious one. Those two are incredible. I know Tobias Harris, he actually averages the second most points on the team. He averages just over 20. But I would never take him in an NBA Jam game. I also thought about the other Curry, Seth Curry. He shoots 45% from three. And when I'm playing Jam, I love hitting those ones from downtown. So that would be the only other guy that I would really consider. But yeah, it's Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. So let's jump on to the next one, Ted. We've got the Brooklyn Nets. This one gets a little bit interesting. Who you got here?
Yeah, this one, I think the obvious one's Durant. You got to go Durant. Just since he's taller than both Kyrie and Harden, so you might be able to – he's averaging 1.4 blocks this year, so he might be able to get you some blocks with that length. And then I went with Harden over Kyrie.
Ooh,
Kyrie's averaging more than him, but James Harden, he averages more steals, assists, rebounds, and they're both shooting identical three-point percentages. So I would go with James Harden. He might be able to get a couple more steals when you're trying to steal it from the guy taking it up. So those are my two.
Yep. Kevin Durant's a no-brainer. He would be an absolutely incredible NBA Jam player. He's got the length. He can shoot. He really can do everything. And then I actually would take Kyrie Irving. I would be crossing everybody up, nonstop juke moves, turbo unlimited, defense, who cares? It's NBA Jam. And like you said, him and Harden are shooting about the same, and Kyrie hit the best shot in Cavs history. So the only other person, Ted, that we didn't mention, Joe Harris, Cavs legend, he can hit some threes. So he's actually shooting over 50% from three this year. So, if you really care about those threes, he might be a guy that you actually put in there. So let's move on, though. We've got the Milwaukee Bucks. They're the 3 seed. Who you got there?
The Bucks, obviously you got to do the Greek Freak. He's kind of like Durant. He's just tall and lanky. He'll be able to get you blocks, steals, and then obviously he can jam it over anybody.
Right.
So you got to go Greek Freak. And then I went with Middleton just because he shoots it better than Drew Holiday. And the Greek Freak really can't hit threes at that high of a clip. So I'm going Middleton and Greek Freak there.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's another one that I think is – I mean, look, all respect to Drew Holiday, but I do kind of think that one's a no-brainer. Middleton gives you the shooting that Holiday gives you, but he also gives you more length, and he's actually shooting the 3 ball a little bit better. So, I would take Middleton as well. I can't believe you didn't take Pat Connaughton, man.
I was just about to say he's honorable mention. He was up there. I was thinking about taking him over the Greek Freak.
All right, well, let's jump on to the next one here. We've got the Indiana Pacers, who I still don't even know how they're the fourth place team in the East, but who you got from the Pacers, Ted?
So the Pacers, I might surprise you on this one. I'm
Okay.
going Malcolm Brogdon. He's been a stud for them this year. He's averaging 21.6, 6.6 assists, 1.3 steals. So he can get you some steals. And then I'm going Miles Turner.
Ooh.
Over Sabonis here.
Wow. Okay, you
he's,
definitely surprised me there.
And that's because I know you say who cares about defense in NBA Jam, but I feel
blocks
like
and steals,
getting the blocks and steals do make a big difference. And he's leading the league in blocks per game. He's averaging 3.5 blocks per game. So I would like to have him on defense, and then he'd be able to throw it down on people too. And Brogdon can handle the threes. So I'm going Turner and Brogdon.
Wow. Well, I'm taking Brogdon, and you kind of already talked about him, but I just cannot believe the disrespect for Sabonis here. I have to take him. Him and Brogdon are very close in points per game. Sabonis is just under 21.5. Brogdon has 21.6. He's a stud, man. This guy could be in the MVP conversation right now. He is like carrying this team. I thought the Pacers were going to be bad this year. Especially knowing Oladipo wanted out. I think we talked about that in earlier episodes. I didn't believe in them. I didn't think they would repeat their success. But Brogdon's averaging a double-double. I'm sorry, Sabonis is averaging a double-double. He's averaging over 11 boards a game and almost 6 assists. So
yeah,
I have to take Sabonis there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a stud. Don't get me wrong. I have him on my fantasy team, so I know he's having a good year. But
right.
NBA Jam terms, I'm taking Turner.
Well, to each their own. How about the Toronto Raptors? That's our next seed here in the East.
So the Raptors, I'm going Van Fleet and Siakam. This wouldn't be my favorite combo in NBA Jam. I really like Van Fleet. I mean, he could get you steals. He plays really good defense for only being 6 foot.
Yeah.
But Siakam, I don't think Siakam could really block many shots, and he would be your big. But they would be nasty on offense. Both of them can shoot.
Right. Siakam and Van Vliet are actually averaging the same amount of blocks per game, 0.7. So
that's crazy because Van Vliet is 8 inches shorter than him, I believe.
I agree with you. The only other person to probably mention is Kyle Lowry. He's been, really probably other than Vince Carter, like he's the Raptors. I mean, it's Vince Carter, it's Kyle Lowry. I know Kawhi Leonard was their best player when they won the championship, but he's been there for so long. So he's having a good season quietly. I mean, he's getting older. He's 34 now, so he's averaging almost 18 points a game, 6.4 assists. But yeah, you got to take Freddie Van Buckets and Pascal Siakam. There's no question there. So yeah. The next seed in the East, and this would be the 6th seed, the Boston Celtics. Who would you take there?
Boston Celtics is pretty easy for me. You got to go Jaylen Brown and Tatum. They're both studs. Neither of them can really block shots, but they both average over a steal a game. Tatum's averaging 26. Jaylen Brown's averaging 25.5 right now. So, yeah. Kemba, he's really regressed this year. He's not playing great for them right now, and Marcus Smart's hurt. So yeah, I would go Tatum and Brown.
Yep, and those two for an NBA Jam team would be awesome. They've got your length. They literally can do a little bit of everything. That they can get you some steals. You're not going to get a million blocks, but just having those two guys running the floor, dunking it. I mean, Jaylen Brown's having really a career year. I don't think a lot of people really thought he would come out as great as he did. So yeah, those are the two. Sorry, Tristan Thompson, you didn't make it, buddy.
And the Celtics are struggling right now. They're I think they're 500 right now, aren't they? Yeah, 500.
Yeah, yep, right on. Yeah, 15-15. So yeah. I was expecting more, and especially with the season they're getting from Brown, but I think a lot of it is to do with Kemba being gone. Terry Rozier surprisingly is having a better season than Kemba, and they kind of swap spots there.
Yeah, Kemba's shooting 37% from the field right now, and just under 35 from three. So those are way down for him. That's definitely a big reason.
Yep. So the next team we have is the New York Knicks, and this is a surprise team. I had them second last in the East. Ted, I think you actually had them last in the East when we did our preseason preview. So good for them. But who you got there from the Knicks, the Knickerbockers?
Yeah, and even looking at their team, you wouldn't get excited to play with them in NBA Jam, and you still can't understand how they're winning games.
I don't get it.
I know you got to go Julius Randle though. He's been a stud. He's averaging 23 and 11. And then I'm gonna go with RJ Barrett. He's averaging 16.6. Neither guy can really play defense, so they're not going to help you much there. But those are the only two guys worth picking, I feel like. Unless you see anybody else here that you'd rather.
So Julius Randle, 100% no brainer. RJ Barrett, he probably would be the most logical choice, but I'm going to take Alfred Payton because when I'm playing NBA Jam, I like for my team to look cool, and he has cool hair. So I'm gonna take Alfred Payton.
That's fair.
So
they
next
did just get Derrick Rose too. You don't want no love for Derrick Rose?
I thought about Derrick Rose. Actually, literally, I was looking at him, and a former MVP, like NBA Jam, no injuries in NBA Jam. That's a plus. But I'm going Alfred Payton. I like that hair. I want it like flopping around.
I don't know if he still has that. So
I would set it so that he did. That's what I would do. I would make sure that he had the hair that he had down in Orlando. So the next team we have another kind of surprise team. Better than most people thought. I mean, they're the 8 seed, so it's not like they're the 2 or 3. But the Charlotte Hornets, who you got there, Ted?
Yeah, this is another team. They're surprised, but in NBA Jam, they don't really have a duo that I'd be too excited to play with. So I'm going to go with Gordon Hayward. He's having a bounce back year. Finally got away from the Celtics. He's been playing like an all-star again. And then you got to go LaMelo Ball. I feel like he's one of the top 3 for Rookie of the Year right now.
Yeah, I feel like he's the front runner. Yeah.
Yeah, he's averaging 14.5, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.6 steals. So he's having a year. So I'm going to go with those two.
I would agree with you. The only other person to mention is, and I mentioned him earlier when we talked about the Celtics, Terry Rozier. He's having an incredible season for them. He's averaging 21 points a game. Yeah, I mean, he's not getting a lot of assists, but he'll go out there and get you some buckets. So I would also take Hayward and Ball, but got to give a little bit of love there.
And if you like defense, you might want to consider PJ Washington. He's a solid defender for them, young guy, averaging 1.3 blocks and a steal a game. So
there's a few people because, again, there's not like this standout two that I would play around with. I would also try Malik Monk and Miles Bridges. Probably also Bismack Biyombo. Just to get a few guys and see what vibed the best. But yeah, I think we got it right with Hayward and Ball there. So the next team, just out of they'd be in the play-in game, but the Chicago Bulls. Who you got from Chicago?
Chicago Bull, no brainer. You got to go Zach LaVine. Dude's going to be an all-star this year, averaging just under 29 a game. Yeah. So you got to go with him. He's shooting 43% from 3, so he can hit the 3 for you. And then I actually would rather play with Thaddeus Young as my second than Lauri Markkanen.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Thaddeus Young. He can kind of do everything for you. I mean, he can get you some steals, blocks. I have him on my fantasy team, and he's listed as a small forward, power forward, and a center. So he's a very versatile player.
Yeah, you can put him in.
I'm going Thaddeus Young.
I would take Markkanen. Again, it's not like a jump out too. Kobe White's having a good year. The team lead in rebounds is actually Wendell Carter. believe it or not.
Right.
He's only averaging 7.4. So I would take Markkanen. He's a big man who can shoot. You're not getting that crazy defense, nothing like that. But I think I'd take Markkanen.
Yeah, he's been good for them when he's been healthy.
Yeah. So the next team, one of the most depressing teams in the league, besides the Cavs, the Miami Heat. They were in the NBA Finals last season, and this year they're struggling a little bit here. Still in the play-in game, but who would you take from there? This is going to be an interesting one.
See, I thought this one was kind of easy for me to. Andy's going to be disappointed with me that I'm not picking Tyler Hero, but I'm going Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. The only thing is Tyler Hero, like he kind of has that like cool factor, but you can't put him over Bam or Jimmy. I mean, Bam and Jim, they're both averaging almost 20 points a game, and they would also just be really fun NBA Jam players. The only reason you might lean towards someone else, Jimmy Butler can't shoot threes.
Right.
And neither can Bam. So, if you take Hero over one of them, you're going to be okay. Jimmy Butler is actually only shooting 16% from three. Is that right? Good
Yeah,
Lord, it is right.
He doesn't shoot too many of them though.
I know, but you're not. Yeah. So that's the only reason you might lean more towards somebody else, just to have that threat out there.
Yeah, and if it was a couple of years ago, you might consider Goran Dragic.
Mm-hmm.
He was always a stud for them and still playing well, but not quite up to all-star level where he was previously.
Yeah. How about the next team we've got here, the Atlanta Hawks? Who you taking from that one?
Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah.
Got to go Trae Young. I got Trae Young. He'd be able to shoot the lights out, obviously. How much does he average right now? I know he's on the fringe for a possible all-star. He's averaging 26.9 points a game.
Yep.
And 9.5 assists.
Yeah.
So that's pretty solid right there. And then he doesn't play any defense, though, so I'm going to pair him up with Clint Capella. He's averaging almost 14 rebounds, 2.2 blocks. And the dude, you saw him when he was on the Rockets. He throws down alley-oops all the time, so he'd be a good partner to have in NBA Jam.
So I didn't think you were going to say that. I was also going to pick Clint Capella. So real quick, we'll just give a little bit of love to John Collins. We appreciate you. Gallinari, we were both high on that signing. He's another guy that you might consider. But Trae Young and Capella would be an interesting team. I would have fun playing with those two.
Yeah, they would be. That's like the perfect combo right there.
You've got that. Yep, the classic guard big guy lineup, and just like you said, countless alley-oops. So next up, we've got the Orlando Magic. Who you taking from the Magic?
Magic, I got Vucevic. He's been an all-star before. He's averaging 24 points, almost 12 rebounds. Not going to block many shots, but he's their best player, so I feel like you have to pick him. Yeah. And then, honestly, I don't even know who I would want on this team. I guess I'd go Terence Ross. I mean, he comes off the bench for them. He's averaging 15.7. And the only reason I'd pick him is just to because he shoots the three pretty decent. He shoots it at 36. Yeah. So I wouldn't be thrilled to play with that team. It might be my least favorite combo so far, but
well, we're getting lower and lower in the conference here, so you're going to start seeing that a little bit. But I'm surprised you said Terrence. I also, just for NBA Jam, would take Terrence Ross. He can score in bunches. He is very hot or cold, and if you catch fire like you could in NBA Jam, he would just be an absolute beast. But I actually, and I'm sorry, I know Vucevic is really good, but I'm playing NBA Jam. I'm taking Aaron Gordon. I want to do all kinds of crazy slam dunks. I'm taking Aaron Gordon.
He would have the best slam dunks, that's for sure.
Yep.
And if Markelle Fultz didn't get hurt, I would consider playing with him too. And there's no injuries.
No injuries in NBA Jam, Ted.
But yeah, Aaron Gordon, he would be fun to play with.
Yeah. So the next up, and again, we're getting towards the bottom here, the Washington Wizards. Who you taking there?
Washington Wizards, you have to go Bradley Beal. He's averaging almost 33 points a game. That's ridiculous.
I know.
And then I would go with Russell Westbrook still.
Same.
It wouldn't be they don't really have anybody else. I mean, I thought Thomas
Hachimura. I mean, Hachimura. Maybe he's been a little bit.
Yeah.
He was hurt at the beginning of the season. If you want cool hair, like I enjoy, Robin Lopez, could be your guy. But no, Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook. You're just gonna shoot the lights out with them.
Right. And I was high on Thomas Bryant on this team, but he really wasn't playing that great. And now he's done for the year. So yeah, he ended up.
So now for the one that everybody's listening for, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Who you taking there? Who's your 2020-2021 NBA Jam Cavaliers duo?
Can I take LeBron and Kevin Love or no? I can't do that.
Unfortunately, you cannot take LeBron. You can take Kevin Love. There's no injuries. So.
Okay. I'm not going to, though, because I want Darius Garland and either Andre Drummond or Jared Allen. Either one I would love to play with on there. You see those two, either Drummond or Allen, they hooked up with Garland on alley-oops this whole year. So I think those would be a fun combo. Either one. Drummond's on his way out, so I guess I'll say Allen because we're going to have him for a while. But
yeah,
I would go with those two.
So I actually thought about this one a lot more than I probably should have. Just, there's no jump out too. So I'm just going to say honorable mention, Larry Nance. He would be very fun, do a lot of slam dunks, a lot of fun stuff. But I'm going with nobody you said. I'm taking Colin Sexton. He obviously leads the team in scoring at about 23 points a game. He can catch fire at any time. And I'm pairing him up with no injuries, Kevin Love. And that's a little bit unfair because he's only played 2 games this year. But I like Kevin Love. If he was healthy, he'd be getting boards. He'd be shooting threes. You're not going to get a bunch of blocks, but, an NBA Jam, you're outscoring everybody. So I would take those two. That would be my Cleveland Cavaliers. So after that, we have the team that I forgot was even in the Eastern Conference, if you remember our preview. It's the worst team in the league. That's the Detroit Pistons. Ted, who would you take there? And do you know 2 people that are on the Pistons? We'll find out soon.
I'm going to go with Chauncey Billups and Ben Wallace.
That'd be a great combo. Unfortunately, Ted, they're both retired.
Oh, well, in that case, no. I'll go with Jeremiah Grant. He's been their best player this year, averaging 23.5. And then I'll pair him up with DeLon Wright just because he's on my fantasy team and he's been playing well since they got rid of Derrick Rose. But I couldn't really name anybody else on that team other than Blake Griffin, but he's about to be on his way out. So
yeah, I'm gonna grab. So Grant's the obvious one. He's probably gonna be an all-star this year, even though they suck. He's literally all they have. And I'm just going to pair him with Blake Griffin because we're turning injuries off and we're just going to let him he doesn't really dunk like he used to. He actually shoots the ball, shoots a lot more jump shots. But I'm going to just remember the glory days of Blake Griffin because he, back in the day, would have been one of the most fun NBA Jam players ever. So
absolutely.
I'm going to take him as well. So that's it for the East. We're going to jump on over to the West. The number 1 seed. This is a little bit of a surprise to a lot of people, too. We've got the Utah Jazz. Ted, who are you taking on the Jazz as your Jam duo?
Yeah, this one's pretty easy for me. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. You got the big and small combo there. Throw the lobs. Gobert can block and finish the lobs. It's just crazy that they're in first. What do the Jazz have to do to make you believe that they can come out of the West? Is there anything they could do?
They have to actually come out of the West. I won't believe it until it happens.
Yeah, I don't know why. I can never get myself to believe it.
If there's injuries, say AD's hurt, then I would have a little bit more faith, or Kawhi Leonard and AD. So if there was some injuries, I want to believe in them. To be honest with you, I love Mike Conley as well. I know you didn't mention him, but you made the obvious choice. Rudy Gobert is going to get you a million blocks. Mitchell's going to be hitting everything. He can throw oops up to Gobert. It'd be incredible. But yeah, Conley's a little bit of an honorable mention. Jordan Clarkson's actually their second leading scorer, but I don't think anybody would take him over, some of the other guys on that team. But yeah, I literally won't believe in them until they're actually in the NBA Finals, and then I probably still won't believe it. I'll think.
I blame Joe Ingles.
Yeah. So so the 2 seed here in the West, that is the Los Angeles Lakers, the defending NBA champs, the winner of our Boom Shakalaka playoffs. We both thought that they would be the team most likely to win if there was a playoffs for NBA Jam. Who you got there, Ted? I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, LeBron and AD. Don't even need to explain myself on that one. Those two are going to be the obvious choice.
Yep. No, there's really not much to say there. So the next team, the LA Clippers, Ted, who you got there?
This, I feel like, is another no-brainer. You got to go Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
It's a no-brainer. Absolutely. They would be great NBA Jam players. They're versatile. They're long. They can dunk. They can shoot. They both can play defense. So when you need steals and clutch moments, you're going to be able to get them. So, yeah, let's move on. We've got the Phoenix Suns here at the 4. This one gets a little bit more interesting. Who you got here?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton on this one.
Ooh,
I really like having a big to go with the guard, and I know Devin Booker averages more points than Paul, but Paul's going to be able to get you some more steals. And honestly, he's shooting the 3 better than Devin Booker this year. He's shooting it at 40%.
Yeah.
Devin Booker's at 37. So I would go Chris Paul and Ayton.
The disrespect that you give Devin Booker, I will never understand. I don't know what he did. Maybe he stole a chick that you were trying to hook up with at a bar or something, but clearly it's Devin Booker, and I'm going to take Chris Paul. This is another team. I'm going double guard. I'm shooting everything, lights out. We're not worrying about blocks. We're going to get some steals. Chris Paul gets you some steals. He averages over a steal a game. So I'd take those two, and I would take my chances from there. And then after the Suns, we've got the Portland Trailblazers. Who you got there from Portland?
So Portland, obviously, Damian Lillard averaging 30. He's playing out of his mind this year. For them to be in the 5th seed right now is crazy because they haven't had CJ McCollum like all year. So that just shows you what level he's playing at. And then my second one.
Don't you dare disrespect our Canton native.
I want to go with them, but I hate playing with 2 guards. So I'm looking for somebody who can play little defense. I'm going Robert Covington.
What?
Robert Covington. He's their best defender, averaging a steal and a block.
Wow, Ted. You know, CJ McCollum, he's shooting 44% from 3 this year, averaging 27 points a game. Yeah, I would go double guards. And I understand some people don't like the double guards, and he's from Canton, Ted. He went to Glen Oak.
Yeah, well, I'm a defensive guy, I guess. I don't know.
Defensive minded. No Carmelo Anthony love either, huh? And his Cantor. He can't play Cantor because he can't play defense.
Right. That's why I couldn't pick him. I had to go all the way down to Covington, averaging 7.5 points a game.
Well, hey, you play your game, I'll play mine. I'm going to be raining threes down on whoever I'm playing. A lot of pick and pops. Yeah, a lot of threes. So the next team we have here, the San Antonio Spurs, Ted. Who you taking from there? And I will remind you, Tim Duncan is retired.
Yeah, so this one was tough because they have nobody that really stands out, and it's still a shock to me that they're in the 6th seed right now. But you got to go DeMar DeRozan. He's averaging almost 20 a game there. He's been an all-star. He's one of those guys that can pretty much do anything. So I'm going with him. And then I'm going to pair him up with Murray.
Okay.
Just because he averages 1.6 steals. He's not the best shooter, but he's shooting at 31.5 from 3. So I wouldn't be thrilled to play with this team, but those are the 2 I'm going to go in.
Yeah, I'm not excited about this team. I'm more excited about a lot of other teams, even though these guys are, doing well in the West, obviously at the 6 seed. Six, right? 6 or 7? Six?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
in
six.
sixth seed right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I definitely DeRozan. He's the no-brainer. I'd put him with the old man, the old veteran, LaMarcus Aldridge. Again, it's not
Oh,
sexy, but I would just trust him. I feel like he would just bring his game to the Jam. So I'll grab LaMarcus Aldridge. And then after that, we've got the Denver Nuggets, who this is a team that I think a lot of people expected to be higher than the 7 seed when the season started. Who are you taking from the Nuggets?
yeah. So I might surprise you this one too. I'm going Jokic.
Yeah.
Obviously, I
What?
mean,
I'm so surprised.
everybody knows my love for Jokic. I think he might win MVP this year. Averaging 11 boards, 26.5 points. He's averaging 1.7 steals though, which is pretty crazy for a center to be averaging that many steals. He's almost like in NBA Jam. I would make him my point guard, just like he kind of plays in real life. So
Yeah, he
I
is
would,
a center.
yeah. So I would pair him, and I would pair him with Michael Porter Jr. instead of Jamal Murray. Get some height on that team. They both can shoot threes. Porter's shooting it at just about 38%, and then he can block shots and get steals. Jokic can go for steals. That's who I would go with.
Ted, do you even remember the 2020 playoffs? Jamal Murray might have won MVP if they did a playoff MVP. He was incredible.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I'm taking, obviously, Jokic. I would pair him up with Murray. I understand the Michael Porter, especially in an NBA Jam game. It's fun to have somebody that can just jam the ball, and he's just long.
Yeah.
But I mean, Murray's not shooting the three that much better, so I can't really make the case for the 3-point ball. He's at 38.5. Porter Jr.'s at 37.8. So they're pretty darn close there, but I would definitely take Murray. You've got the classic big, small, but it's a weird mix, like you said, because Jokic really plays point guard. So
Right.
after that, we have the team that I almost don't even want to talk about, the Golden State Warriors. They robbed us of a couple championships when they somehow were able to sign Kevin Durant after winning 73 games. But who would you take from there?
So, gun to my head, I have to pick because I would never play with this team. Gun to my head, they're making me play with them, and I got to win to survive. I'm going to go Steph Curry and James Wiseman. Those would be my two. Curry obviously can hit the three from anywhere, and Wiseman gives you that center. He's another rookie who's going to be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. He's averaging 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks, and he's only playing 21 minutes. So that's pretty impressive for only playing 20 minutes a game.
Well, Ted, gun to my head, make me choose the Warriors. There's no way I'm picking Steph Curry. I don't care. I'm taking Maple Jordan. That's Andrew Wiggins. He's probably been their second best player this year. He's averaging a little under 18 points a game. I would definitely take Wiggins. He's never quite become the player that a lot of us thought he would, but the nickname Maple Jordan would also be cool to hear while you're playing. And then to pair him up, I'll take Wiseman as well. I don't want anybody that ever beat the Cavs in the finals on my NBA Jam team. So that's who I'm going with. And if you don't like it, then screw you. But next team we have is Ted's probably second favorite team. I'm saying the Cavs are your first favorite. We've got the Memphis Grizzlies. Who are you taking from the Grizzlies, Ted?
So Memphis Grizzlies, you got to go with Ja Morant. He would be a lot of fun to play on there. He can throw it down on anybody. So you got to go with him. He cannot shoot the three though. He's shooting it at 22% this year, which is shocking to me. I wasn't aware he was down that low. So I would want to pair him with somebody who could shoot a little bit. I'd probably go with Kyle Anderson. He's been shooting 40% from three this year, and he's kind of one of those guys who can do anything. So he could get you an occasional block, some steals. And if you do need to hit a three, he'd be the guy you'd want to go to.
Yeah. Yeah, Ja Morant's a no-brainer. He would actually be literally one of the most fun NBA Jam players. Even though he's not hitting those threes, he's going to be doing some crazy dunks. So that'd be a lot of fun. I would put him with Jonas Valanciunas. I'm not crazy about anybody as his second guy on that team, but Valanciunas is their second leading scorer at a little over 16. He's also averaging a double-double. He gets 11 boards a game. So he's going to be getting you boards. He's not going to get you a lot of blocks, but he is going to get you the rebound, which is important because sometimes in that game it's very hard to get a rebound. So I'll take Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah.
Two there.
And let me just say, if there's no injuries, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. would probably be the guy. He hasn't played at all this year, but he would be able to block shots. He was averaging 17 before he got hurt last year, and he shoots at 40% from 3 too. So he would probably be the guy. He just hasn't played this year.
No, that is a very good point. So the next team in the West, this would be the last team. I guess you call it in the playoffs. They would be in the play-in tournament. They're the 10 seed. It's the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I thought that they would be a lot better than they have been. And I mean, injuries has something to do with that. And just not having much of a bench has a lot to do with that. But who do you take from the Mavs?
Yeah, they had a slow start. They picked it up, though. I think they'll keep moving up as the season goes on. But this is an easy one. You got to go Luka and Porzingis, right?
Ted, you're forgetting about somebody who once played a bad guy in what movie was it? John Wick. Boban Bogdanovic. He's like 8 feet tall. He might be kind of fun to play with in NBA Jam.
He absolutely would, but Porzingis is also outrageously tall. So
no, it's a no-brainer. That one is an absolute no-brainer. But I would, if I was playing against somebody who I knew I was going to kick their ass, I would play with Boban. Just
oh yeah.
So the next team we have, these guys are just out of that playoff hunt. That's the New Orleans Pelicans. Who you taking from the Pelicans?
You got to go Zion Williams. He might be the most fun player in the NBA right now to play NBA Jam with. So got to go him. And I'm going to pair him up with Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is such a good passer. He gets a lot of steals. I'd be throwing lobs to Zion all day, and he's really improved his jump shot. He's shooting 39% from 3, and he's shooting 7.7 a game. He's averaging 3-point attempts. So he's really worked on that jumper and would be able to hit a 3 if you need it.
Well, Ted, the disrespect that you're giving Brandon Ingram, I don't even understand it. He's averaging more points at almost 24. He's just under in those assists at 4.7. Lonzo has 5. He's got more rebounds. He shoots a better 3-point percentage. I would take Brandon Ingram and pair him up with Zion.
Yeah, but Lonzo Ball's more fun. He's more fun. That's my only argument there.
That's fine. Fun. Hey, you pick. Listen, I picked Elfrid Payton because he used to have cool hair, so you can pick however you want. But that's who I would take. And then after that, we've got the Oklahoma City Thunder. They they've kind of cooled off at the beginning of the season. They kind of shocked a lot of people, but kind of like the Cavs, they started hot and have kind of come back to where people expected. So who are you taking from there?
Yeah, so I'm going to disrespect somebody else here, and I know you're not going to be happy with it. I'm going with Tyrese Halberton. He's been kind of a sleeper to come out of that draft. He was the number 12th pick.
Who?
And Tyrese Halberton.
I don't even know who that is.
Well, you need to know who he is because he's playing really well. He might be a first teamer all rookie. He's playing much better than Okoro is. He's averaging almost 13 points a game, 5.3 assists, and 1.3 steals. He's been coming off the bench, and I would have loved for him to be a Cav because he's a guard who's actually got some height. He's 6'5".
Yeah.
So he would have been able to play along with Sexton or Garland. But unfortunately, we didn't pull the trigger on him. But I would go with him. And then I would pair him up with Rashawn Holmes just so I could get a shot blocker. I want a shot blocker in there. He's averaging 1.6 blocks. And he would be you need somebody to rebound, Ben, and he would be the guy. And he also could throw down some nasty jams. So that would be my combo.
Well, Ted, I don't know if you remember Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He plays on the Thunder. Have you heard of him? He's pretty good.
Well, we're on the Kings right now, Ben.
We're on the
Right? Oh, I was doing the Kings.
Oh, I said Thunder, but you went. That's why I'm so confused.
Oh, that's my bad. Yeah, I was doing the Kings. I'm sorry. No wonder
Let's
you
go
didn't know
Kings.
who I was
Let's
talking
go Kings.
about.
I'm even looking at the roster going, where the hell is this guy? All right, so well, Ted, that's even more disrespectful because De'Aaron Fox is the obvious and clear choice.
Right.
He's honestly one of my favorite players. I really enjoy watching him play. And I would do this one. This would be another double guard lineup. I'd throw him in with Buddy Hield. We'd be chucking up shots, shooting a lot of threes. Who gives a crap about blocks? We'd just be outscoring everybody.
Well, Ben, Tyrese Halberton shooting 44% from three, just so you know. Keep an eye on him the rest of this year. I think you might like him.
That's why I do know who he is, but I thought we were talking about the Thunder, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that's my bad. I must have flopped those two on my list here.
They're tied. The record is tied, so that makes sense. They're both 12 and 18, so that's all good. But let's go ahead then, Ted. Who you got on the Thunder? The Oklahoma City Thunder, not the Sacramento Kings.
Well, you named him, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. You got to go with him, and I'd pair him up with Al Horford. He's getting old, but he's still solid. He'd play defense and get you some rebounds. So I would probably shoot with Shea every single time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would pair him up with Horford.
See, that makes a lot more sense, Ted, about the Thunder, because that's also who I would pick. So how about the Houston Rockets? And in case you forgot, they traded James Harden. They don't have him anymore, so you can't pick him.
The Rockets, I would go with Christian Wood. He came over from Detroit, and I was very curious how he was going to do. He was averaging 22 a game. He's averaging 10 rebounds and a block and a half. So he'd be a great guy to have. And he's also shooting the three at 42%. So he can pretty much do it all for you. So I'd go with him. And then I'd pair him up with John Wall. He's actually been playing pretty well this year. He's averaging 20 points a game. He could get you some steals, some assists. So those would be my two.
Yeah, definitely. So John Wall, you have to take, and I know he's not the old John Wall, but he's still averaging 20 points a game. And in the most recently made NBA Jam game, which I have for the Nintendo Wii, that's the most recent one that they made, he was very fun to play with. So I would definitely pick him. And I'm throwing him out there with DeMarcus Cousins. Let's just get the Kentucky team back. We've got size. We've got speed. We've got threes. I'm taking DeMarcus Cousins. No injuries, too. Don't forget. That would be very important for them.
That's true.
And then the last team we have, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Ted. Who you got on the T-Wolves?
Well, yeah, the T-Wolves definitely wish there were no injuries in real life because they haven't had Karl Anthony Towns like all year. He's just getting back finally. He's only played 11 games. You got to go with him. He's their best player. Walking double-double. Averages 2 blocks, so he'd be able to protect the rim too. And then I'd pair him with D'Angelo Russell. I know he's hurt right now. But, I mean, those two are like best friends in real life. I believe they played growing up together, and they really wanted to play together. So I'd give them their wish. I would go D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns.
I think it's a no-brainer. I know Malik Beasley's had a pretty good season for them. Anthony Edwards was the #1 pick. But, yeah, you've got to go those two. Again, you mentioned the friendship. If they could stay healthy together, I would assume we haven't got to see too much of it. But, there's got to be some good chemistry there. So I would take those two. And so, Ted, I do have to ask you, which team would win the championship in the NBA Finals preview, if or the NBA Jam preview? Who you taking to win it all? Which two do you like best?
I'm gonna stick with LeBron and AD. That combo is just too good. I think Embiid and Simmons might come out of the East though. I think they might be able to handle Durant and Harden just since they're both so big. But yeah, you got to go LeBron and AD, right?
I think that's one of the best NBA Jam duos of all time is LeBron and AD. As much as I want to say Colin Sexton and Kevin Love, who are my Cavs picks, could win it all. I don't see them having any chance there. So I would as well take the Lakers. But
Yeah.
guys, Ted, I think we're kind of wrapping up here. So thank you guys for tuning in. I should mention we are part of the Mark One Sports Network. We do the Cleveland Cavs. We've got a lot of other shows. If you guys like us, you like Cleveland sports, make sure to check them out. We've got the Danger Zone, Josh and Rich. They talk Cleveland Browns. They will tell you guys everything that the Browns need to do this coming season to win the Super Bowl, which I already think they're going to do anyways. But
I want J.J. Watt.
Hey, he might be coming. Take a listen. We also have CLE Tribecast, where Jeremy and Kevin talk about the Cleveland Indians, who are no longer going to be the Cleveland Indians after this year, but they'll let you know everything they need to do to win the World Series, which I also think we're going to do this year. So I've got us going 3 for 3. That's Browns Tribe. And then we've got the Mark One Sports Show. Ethan Tabor covers everything in the world of sports, news, movies, whatever's hot. He's talking about it. He gets some really cool interviews. He had an interview with the Twisted Tea guy recently. The guy who smacked someone in the face with a twisted tea because he was being racist. It was pretty sweet. So that was pretty cool. And make sure to check out DFS. They do daily fantasy sports. It's free advice. And Ted, anything you want to add before we peace out here? Anything I missed?
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. And never forget, Warriors blew a 3-1 lead.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Seconds. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again.